basic walk. So we're going to start with the basic walk because walking is kind of the foundation for pole dancing. You have to be able to get around in circles. I have a ton of different walks, but we're going to start with the simplest of them. I am in socks or bare feet. I will also teach you how to properly walk in heels as you're coming around the pole, but I'm going to start here. So starting off, we're going to start next to our pole, up on the balls of our feet. Find that good balance, engage your core. Your inside arm, so the half of me that's closest to the pole will always be inside, and the half of me furthest from the pole will always be outside. Your inside arm is going to go high on the pole with a gentle, light grip. We also don't want to wrap our wrists around the pole. We want to make sure that if we were to look up and point our finger up the pole, we'd be able to see the fingernail. You're obviously not going to hold it like that though. So on the toes, shoulder down, chest lifted, put the goils out there. We're going to start by stepping on whichever leg you would like first. So I'm going to do the outside foot. I'm going to put all of my weight onto my outside foot, shift my weight into my hip so that I can really pop that hip out. It's also freeing up the opportunity to take all the weight off of this foot so that I can drag it through, step, shift the weight to that hip, same thing, drag it through, step, shift, drag, step, shift, drag, to bring myself around the pole using my hips to create the movement and the walk. So that's what's going on with the bottom half of me. Now the top half of me, my dog's probably going to be in this a lot, so I hope you're all ready for that. The top half of me, my arm has to be doing something. We can't have this solid like Barbie arm that just sits next to our body. So if you're feeling really nervous and you don't like to think about too many things at once, the easiest thing you can do is put a hand on the hip. If you're feeling a little extra saucy, you can put that hand on the small of your back, which is also going to push your chest forward and draw some attention to your booty as you're coming around the pole. Lastly, and probably my favorite little trick to do, is to trace myself as I'm coming around the pole. It's also the best opportunity you're going to have to dry the sweat off your hands, but nobody needs to know that. So as I'm walking, I'm going to step, shift, drag, and I can trace myself. I could leave a hand on the hip. I could place it on the small of my back, or whatever else feels clever. Now you are going to notice that my hand is staying high as I'm walking around the pole. This is because I'm keeping a loose grip. Naturally, if I hold on really tight, as I walk in a bunch of circles, my hand is going to slide down the pole. Now the downside to that is if you want to go into a spin right away, because your hand is lower on the pole, you're going to be taking some of the height away from your spin, or you're going to have to work extra hard to hold yourself there, right? So we want to keep a loose grip. The other thing we want to do is we want to remember that we are capable of standing up straight and walking by ourselves. So a lot of the times what happens is if we hold on too tight, we also start walking our feet next to the base. Now this lean out walk is useful in other places, but for a basic walk, mostly it ends up that your hand starts dragging around the pole. You don't have the ability to stay on your toes anymore, and I don't know, maybe this hand ends up here and you look like a T-Rex coming around the pole, which is super sexy for some people, and I'm into those people. But for this, we want to keep that hand high, we want to stay stacked, chest forward, keep the girls out there, right? Hand on the hip or wherever you please, so that as you're walking around the pole, you get that sensual drag to your walk. Beautiful. Let's get some heels. Right. Now that we have our hooves strapped on, we're going to take it for a walk in heels. So a lot of the same stuff applies. As I'm coming through, and especially with shoes that have a platform, it makes it easier to walk. When I step on that foot and I shift my weight out, a lot of platform shoes start to curve so that I can properly work through the foot to drag that foot through and step, shift, drag. Step, shift, drag. And taking it for that delicious walk all the way around the pole. This is also helping us to keep good contact with the floor and our shoes, so you're less likely to have those moments where you're lifting and you're having to balance on one foot like a newborn baby deer, which is cute as fuck, but for this, it's not gonna work as well. So we're gonna drag and step through. If you're feeling frisky, you should always try everything on both sides. So step, drag. Feel your deliciousness walking around the pole. Thanks, ladies.